Hello, people. I'm gonna give a few minutes for people to get on and make sure you guys are on. Let's see. How's everybody doing? Refresh. Let's see. Hi. Let me add, there's a couple people choosing to get approved, so let me go add them real quick. Hey guys. Hey Kelly. All right, EOC. I'm so glad you guys came to join us. Hey Heather, what's up? I'm excited. Hey Amy. All right, I choose to know. I guess I'm live. Awesome. Okay, here I am. I'm so excited. This is so cool. Thank you so much, Dr. Jim Bob and Dr. Cynthia, for allowing me to be here with you guys tonight. I'm just coming in from Destin, so excuse me if I have like beach hair, and I literally have been driving all day to get home, and you may hear my dogs or my cats or something in the background. But my name is, can everybody hear me okay? I just want to make sure the sound is all right. Can everyone give me kind of like a thumbs up, or hey Brenda, hey Jeannie, can someone let me know? And okay, I see you. And Jim, Bob, or Cynthia, if you guys choose to ask me any questions or do anything on the side, for some reason my phone is not logging in like comments, so I'm choosing to look on my desktop a little bit. But if you have something on the inbox, then you can let me know too, or if you need to steer me in the right direction. But I'm really excited about tonight's topic. My name is Dr. Sharnael Wolverton. I'm a naturopathic doctor. Super excited to be with all of you amazing people tonight. Hey Christine. I'm actually with Team Swiftfire. I've been using essential oils for almost 8 years now. And I'll give you, first I'm going to do a quick thing, because I'm going to do a special surprise for the rowdiest people. Ow, hold on one second, my cat. Hold on, I'm going to put my cat away. Sorry about that. My cat is really happy to see me. Hey Michelle, my cat is like biting me, so I would choose to give you my full 100%. I've been gone for a couple days, and now my cat like loves me. So anyway, for the rowdiest, craziest, awesome people tonight, I have some prizes. I'm going to give a mix of some things that are my personal teachings. I have 3 books, but I brought 2 of them out here. I'm going to give away 10 prizes. The Keys to Third Heaven. This is showing up backwards. I think there's a way to fix that. I forget how. But anyway, it's called Keys to Third Heaven and Seer's Handbook. I have another one that's on my website, but also I'm going to give away, this is the CD, but I'm going to give MP3 forms. So I'll give 10 prizes total to the rowdiest, craziest, most people who comment the most. I will email the MP3 and ship out the books. I'm just so excited and honored to be here. But let me give you, the topic tonight is quantum health and frequency. I'm very, very passionate about health and frequency and quantum physics, neuroscience, kinesiology, physiology. I'm kind of a geek when it comes to all this science stuff, and I love, love, love it. And so I hope that you guys enjoy what we're going to talk about here. I wanted to also remind you that we have a group. It's called the Divine Science Healing Grace and Human Body Group. I know that's kind of long. We're probably going to change it. That'll be on my Facebook, or actually maybe I could give you the link here a little bit later for those of you who choose, because we just started it maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and there's loads and loads of videos in there if you guys are interested in like quick tips. You could also go to my Swiftfire Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I have a YouTube channel. We just hit 1 million views. So you guys, if you're interested in this, just check it out. And I'm super excited for anybody who wants to follow me. I'll follow you back and we'll be friends. My background is basically, I've been in ministry since the late 90s, and my undergraduate is in kinesiology and wellness, because I went to Bible school and seminary. And to be completely honest with you, the denomination that I was in at the time would not allow women in ministry. I'm not in that denomination anymore. I'm kind of non-denominational at this point, but I love God, I love spirit, and I really, really love God and spirit and science in that combination, because God is the biggest scientist. He created all of this. He's full of frequency and light, and actually he spoke all of us into existence. He said, let there be light, and bam, there was frequency and light, and it was awesome, and he's still making light. And so, hey, Kathy and Megan. So my background, again, is mostly ministry, but then what happened is through a series of events and different things on my own health journey, I had to start looking for other answers outside of the Western model. And, you know, God likes to set us up. At the time, my advisor had told me, you know, you really can't major in religious education or be a minister because you don't have the right body parts. That's not exactly how they said it, but sort of basically. And my whole story, if you're interested, if you go into the 12 Days of Diamond, is in there, and you guys can get the full video on that. But for the time's sake, so I went and studied wellness and kinesiology, thinking, well, I'll just do this until I get, you know, to another place where maybe they'll let women in ministry. And or they told me, hey, why don't you marry a pastor or something like that so you could do marriage counseling. And I was just like, But I did the second best thing for me. I was always interested in health and science, and so I kind of went that direction, but it was total setup. So because later when I went to med school, after all this stuff with my health, I went back to go get my naturopathic doctorate, and I wouldn't have been able to get in without my undergraduate and all that, and my master's. So it was perfect. And also, I had the perfect undergraduate to even get in because I already had a medical background. And so it was just like total setup. You know, Romans 8:28 says that if you believe, all things work together for those who love him, and I love him. I know many of you love him. And so when things seem like they're not working out, just remember this is probably some sort of setup for you. Like, God is just hooking you up. He's setting you up, because who would have wanted to start all over back to that undergraduate? I may not even have done that. But so I got my doctorate mainly because I wanted to learn from myself. I actually never thought I would use this for a practice or anything like that. I had a following of people from churches all over the world that I had ministered to for years, and I noticed that there were a lot of things going on in these churches where there were prayer lines needed, and I was looking for other ways to help me. And then after I helped myself, I thought, you know what, I'd choose to be able to know how to help other people too. So I got my doctorate in naturopathic medicine, and that actually opened up the doors for me to be able to not only minister in churches, but basically God was like, hey, you don't just get the church anymore. I'm just going to give you the whole world. Is that cool? Because everybody outside the church needs ministry too. And so it was just like super perfect for me, because look at all the people that we get to touch and love on and minister to. And God he's so cool. So I have been since 2014 with my doctorate working. We actually had a wellness center, but it flooded. I don't know if you heard about a big flood in Louisiana that happened last year, but our wellness center flooded. We're figuring out what to do with that. But in the meantime, I do phone consultations and help people, and I'm a Crown Diamond and Young Living, so I have lots of people to practice on and help, and, you know, just help educate. My favorite thing in the world is teaching. And I don't know if you know, but the word doctor or physician, if you look up the actual meaning of that, it actually means teacher. And I think that's kind of cool. I learned that after I got my doctorate, but I was like, that's pretty cool, because teaching is my jam, and I especially really love anything with quantum physics, physiology, you know. I love health, obviously. I love the endocrine system. I love looking at the blood. I have all kinds of weird contraptions and different things to to test people and look up stuff, and I just love all this. So I am so thankful for Dr. Jim Bob and Cynthia for having me here to talk about quantum physics today. I want to talk to you about the difference between quantum physics and how this all applies to what you all do every day. Quantum physics, well, physics, first of all, is anything that you could touch, you know, pick up, hold. Hey, Heidi from Canada. Hello, and hello to Litha. Good to see you. Quantum physics is like hard stuff, things that you feel, although this is all light. You can tangibly feel it and know that it's there. These are like, they have solid, it feels like solid or has the appearance of something solid. Quantum physics is the unseen. Who likes the unseen? I love the unseen, especially that whole spirit realm. And so, how many of you know that you may be, you may have a radio on or Wi-Fi going on, and you may not be able to see it, but that doesn't mean it's not there. You can actually change the stations or get a different code for Wi-Fi, and you'll connect to a different channel based on that. So that's what's kind of cool. Even with the oils, it's like you can't necessarily see what's going on in the air, but you can smell it. And there's something that's really true about the electric part of it. And we're going to talk about the electric field and essential oils and all of that. So before we go any further, I would love for you to get a notebook and a piece of paper, because we're going to take notes, because this is going to be a jamming class tonight. And I want you guys to learn some things so you can teach your groups and your family. I'm trying to move my chair up. Sorry, I'm going to get a little closer to you guys. I want you to write down the name Clive, C-L-I-V-E, Baxter. Clive Baxter, and Google him. He's got books. I think his books are like ridiculously overpriced because they're out of print and they're very hard to find, and everybody wants to get these books. But he's basically one of the main pioneers who worked on the lie detector, which is super cool. But now, why is this? I promise you, just stay with me. I'm gonna connect the dots. Clive Baxter worked with people who were on these lie detectors and who lied. And just so you know, when people show up lying on a lie detector, it's not because they can tell when you're lying. It's because they can tell the response of your body when you're lying. When you do not tell the truth or live true, machines can pick up the response in your body that happens, because there's 1,500 chemicals, bad chemicals, that release in your body, and then your cells saturate in this poison of poisonous hormones that leak all throughout your body, and they mess up your immunity, and messes up your health in a lot of ways. Your sleep, your weight issues, weight management can be an issue. Your hair can get gray, you can get wrinkled, you know, so living true is super important. Hey, can you put a blanket over the bird? I have a lot of animals. Please put a blanket over the bird. I don't want you guys to have to listen to Romeo the whole time. So, now when you are living true, you have the opposite effect, which is basically when you're living true and you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, you have chemicals that release in your body and saturate your cells to help you do the right thing, the positive thing. Baxter is B-A-C-K, like your back, S-T-E-R. Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. So, like those people who can suddenly go lift up a car off a baby or a child, of course that's adrenaline. Those are different chemicals. Versus cortisols and things that are negative when you're not living true. So our whole thing is basically it's really important for us to do what we know in our heart is to do. And some people may say, well, how do I know if this is what we're supposed to do? Your heart knows. Believe me, your heart knows. And also there's testing that you can do, muscle testing and what have you. There's things that you can do. You can pray, fast, whatever, but believe me, your heart knows what's true and what isn't. So pay attention to those gut feelings. But Baxter, when he studied people who, quote, lie, of course they found out there's galvanic skin issues where people would sweat and or have different responses. their heart would beat different. There was just elevations and different things, and of course there's all these body scans and different things that are going on, and so they could test all that and say, okay, this looks like some sort of like bad immunity response right here, and they could tell like this isn't good, and that's how they were able to define if someone lied. So unfortunately, I'm sure there's people who are just nervous to be on a lie detector who may fail the lie detector because it may be stressful to be on a lie detector. I know I wouldn't want to be on a lie detector. I don't know about any of you. So whether they're accurate or not, you know, I'm sure that they're somewhat accurate, but I'm just telling you that this is how they test it on people, and this is what they've done for a long, long time. Now, I'll give you a few examples, and then we're going to tie this into how this works with essential oils and health in general. I'm going to probably butcher this because it's been a while since I've actually read the book, but I can tell you this. There were a lot of studies done that Baxter did having to do with plants. He took plants and put them on lie detectors instead of people on lie detectors because he had a green thumb and he loves plants, and he thought, how cool would it be if we could see what happens to the response of plants under stress? And so, hey Jenny, hey Erica, and Gladys, she's here too. All right, Lenny, I'm so excited you guys are joining us. So he loved plants, and he would, don't ask me how he hooked them up. I just know that this happened. And the book goes really into the science of all that. I'm going to stick with just the basics. But they started doing these tests on plants to see how the plants would respond to someone being really ugly to the plant versus someone being really nice to the plant. Pretty cool. Now, of course, when they yelled at the plant or even put taped bad words on the plant or did anything, the plant had a bad negative response. And many of you may have heard of Dr. I think his name is, look up the book Messages in the Water, because there's a whole thing about this about water too, and about how your water will respond to positive things or negative things. And you could put water in rice or water in alive things, and you could put tape and write bad things on it, and it's going to give you something negative. And if you put like love or life or thank you and sweet things like that, you also get a really positive response. And then their whole DVD too that's really cool, it's called What the Bleep. If you haven't watched that DVD, watch it. It's called What the Bleep. So check out Dr. Emoto, Messages in the Water, thank you, and check out DVD What the Bleep, and it's really going to give you an idea of what's going on in the body. So that has to do with the messages in the water. Now, of course, plants have lots of water, and people have lots of water, and so, of course, there's a response not only because of the water, but there's a response because of frequency, and there's a part of the cells that are alive that respond to different things. So, for example, they hooked up these plants and they had them in a room, and they were told one by one to go walk in. This lady was supposed to walk in, and she had some matches, and she was supposed to light the match and hold it up next to the leaf of a plant and pretend like she was going to burn the plant. Of course, the plant was really upset, and the detector went like this. You guys have all been on a detector, probably at least 10 of you, and so you know that, or you've seen it on CSI, right? When it's stressed, it goes like really, really high and low. Now she was told to go back and back and back. She never did like burn the plant, but she would pretend to burn the plant or act like she was going to burn the plant, and sometimes maybe even accidentally burn the plant. And of course, the plant wasn't very unhappy about that. So after 2 or 3 times of this, the lady was supposed to walk in, and this time her assignment was not to burn the plant, but to walk in and just stand next to the plant. And guess what? Knowing that she wasn't supposed to hurt it or even light it, when she, oh wait, let me go back. She walked in and was told to go stand by it and act like she was going to light it, and as soon as she walked in the door, the plant freaked out before she even lit the match. You get what I'm saying? Which was kind of weird because she had done it 2 or 3 times, and now she had come in, and here she's like, yeah, the plant remembered her. The plant had a memory of, that's the woman that freaking came in here last week and tried to burn me. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting, right? Next time that she came in, let me get my story straight. Next time that she came, they told her, go in, but don't burn the plant. and just stand next to it, and guess what? The plant saw her walk in, or felt her, whatever I choose to know, but when they walked in, she walked over to it and she held the matches and had everything, but guess what? The plant didn't freak out. The plant was just like, okay, and had no response. Now, that tells me one thing, two things. One, that it has a memory, and two, that it knows intention. Hey, Dana. Hey, Carlin. So, knows the memory and knows the intention. Kind of crazy, right? Now, next thing you know, someone came in. They did lots and lots of these kind of things. They took scissors and acted like they were going to cut the plant. Of course, that wasn't a very good response. People were pretty upset. Well, plant people were very upset. Cutting it up, stabbing at the dirt, acting crazy. Of course, everyone kind of went nuts, and the lie detectors went nuts because it was registering stress, okay? Well, when they went back again and they're just told to stand next to the plant with the scissors again, they didn't do anything. Why is that important? Because it had a memory and it knew intent. And so this was kind of interesting. Now they were told to go in and, I don't know, do any of you guys have plants? Have you ever pruned a plant? Do you know what pruning means? Anybody? Selah, you guys know what that is? Carlin, Dana, anybody know what pruning means? I'll give you a hint. It has to do with making things better. And so this time the lady was told to go in, and I want you to just peel back everything that's dead. Yes, cut back everything that's dead and prune it off. And it maybe does hurt. Who knows? I'm not a plant. But it gives you the ability to grow better. And so the plant, when the lady walked in with the same scissors to prune everything back, the plant was like happy and showed a happy response, because it was knowing that this woman was actually coming in to prune it, to give it the opportunity to grow and to flourish and to be better and to thrive. So again, it knew the intent, it had a memory. The FBI got a hold of this and actually started taking plants and animals out of crime scenes, because they, when you go, I haven't had to do this, thank God, but I'm sure you've seen CSI too, where they go and they take people and they line them up behind this window thing, and they one by one look at like what's going on, and they identify the person. Well, if the plant's alive and it can tell intent and has memory, then why not take the plant or the animal out of the crime scene of the rapist or the murderer or whatever? And guess what? They put them in a room one by one, and immediately the plant or the animal would detect by whatever that this was the guy, this is the bad guy, this is the guy who hurt my mommy or whatever. And so now look, we do not have the legal system in place right now to actually put a cat or a plant on the stand, with their hand on the Bible and go, I'm going to tell the truth. But this is where science is going. And then there may be a day when you have your cat sitting up there, meow, 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 who's able to pick someone out, now my dog's barking, out of the crime scene. And so, again, why is this important to us? Let me explain to you. These little bottles right here, this is the resin of a plant. Do you understand what the resin is? This is the blood of a plant. This is alive. And even through the distill process, this stuff is alive. It knows intent, and it actually has memory. Like, there's a lot of frequency to it. We have a frequency of about 15 inches around us, and I'm going to go into that a little bit too. But animals have it, we have it, the oils have it, and these oils. This one happens to be Aroma Life or Hope. You can pick any of them. But these oils are so alive. Essential oils that are real are so alive that they can actually go through an x-ray machine. And if you test them right away, they're going to be dead because of the radiation. But within 4 hours, they will heal themselves and go back to the molecular structure that they were in the first place. And so, that is very, very important to us. Because for many reasons. I'll let you fill in the blanks, or I really implore you to do your due diligence on what essential oils do to the body and to the cells, on a chemistry level, on a physiological level. The FDA guidelines will not let me tell you all the amazing things that they do, but I can explain to you that there is an awesome immunity response to certain things that we do naturally, and that's why I love being a teacher of natural medicine, or this is medicine, I guess you could say. Natural things like detoxing, juicing, and raw food, and doing anything that's alive. This stuff is alive. So let's talk a little bit about the field a little bit before we go into frequency. Again, everyone has an electrical field of about 15 inches ish. Some people have a bigger radius. I've heard a lot of people who, or you may know people where you can almost like feel them walk into a building. You know that they have some sort of different ability where they're pushed beyond their frequency, is pushed beyond. Now, when I say frequency, we are all megahertz. We all have an electric part of us, just like the lights in the light bulb or anything in the walls electric. We are electric. When I worked in cardiac rehab, I was even, I watched surgery, and I wasn't a part of surgery. I wasn't doing surgery, but when I worked in cardiac rehab, I actually could witness and hear the surgeons talking about the blue light that they would often see when they were doing surgery on these, on hearts. And because it's a current, there's a current there, there's a sound there, there's a frequency there, there's light there. This heart is the biggest, this is the biggest electrical organ in our body. And so it's really, really important. But this kind of gauges, it doesn't, when this electrical part of us goes out, it doesn't just go into all of our cells, which of course it does, but it permeates outside into this 15-inch kind of field, or ish field. To others it's bigger. There's tons of books on this. You guys can Google the field and some other things that'll talk about it. Now, there are electrical magnetic fields that permeate bad electrical things, as far as like power lines and Wi-Fi and cell phones and computers and anything that has a plug, basically power lines, cell phone towers, smart meters. Oh my gosh, smart meters permeate like major amounts of radiation. Microwaves, major amounts of radiation. So we have to be careful and keep our electrical field clear of that as much as possible, and you could do that through like EMFs. EMFs will support a healthy immune system or healthy immune response, but essential oils also can help in that electrical field to help with that response system. Melrose is a really good one to help with that, and then vitamin C and Thyromin and some other ones that just support the body, to have that good immunity response and to keep that maintained. And so, yes, someone's talking about the microwave. I don't use a microwave. That is the highest, it's such a high radiation. They're actually illegal in Europe and most everywhere across the world. And when I went overseas years ago, we went to go make tea, because I used to take a coffee mug or whatever and fill it with water and then stick it in the microwave and boil it, make it hot, and then put my tea bag in there. And when I asked the people, like, where's your microwave, they thought I was crazy, and they were like, no, that's illegal. We don't keep microwaves, we know better. And I thought, what? And I did some investigation on it, and of course, if you use a microwave to boil your water, you're going to put a tea bag in there, and it's going to kill everything that the tea may have been good about it, and it's going to, you're basically going to drink radiated water. And if you do your food that way, same. If you put it in plastic, then you're getting the plastics from it as well. So, get rid of your microwave. Even if you have it plugged in and you don't use it, it sets off radiation. So just put it to the curb, bring it to Goodwill or something. But I know I'm going off a little bit here. But anyway, let's focus on positive frequency here. Let's talk about support to your body and the electrical field. Of course, positive things like speaking positive. If you're using your voice to speak positive things and you're thinking about positive things in your heart, then that's going to permeate a different sound through your cells and outside your whole radius. And so thinking about good things, thinking about positive things, the scriptures talk about, think of these things that are beautiful, things that are light, things that are good news. That's in Philippians 4. It also says, as a man thinketh, so is he. So that's true, because whatever we think is what we're going to permeate and what's going to come out here, and whatever you have out here is what you attract. So whatever you think about and focus on, you become. And so we always say, what you focus on, you become. I think it was John Paul Jackson who taught us that. But anyway, you make room for what you focus on. You make room for. I've heard it say it different ways, and you guys may have your own version. But basically, if you think about love and you are love, you attract love. And so again, you can double up on high frequency through not just thinking things and feeling things, but also with essential oils or raw food or positive music and all of that. I keep jumping here, but I am going to connect this. Frequency is important. You're 67 megahertz on a healthy adult day, and you can actually be higher or lower. And let's talk about some things that get you low for just a tiny bit. Bad food, dead food. And what I mean by dead food is food that's been cooked, food that is in a can or a freezer, anything that you have to, versus eating something raw that's not cooked. Of course, anything raw is going to be really good for you and have high frequency. Salads, vegetables, fruit, especially if it's organic. You don't want to have anything that has pesticides on it, but those are all good for you. Worship, reading the Bible, speaking things, being around positive people. Now look, you can you can be around a negative person. I don't know if any of you ever had a Debbie Downer in your life. Maybe like one person may have ever experienced the Debbie Downer. But have you noticed that when you talk to Debbie Downer, that sometimes even if it's just on the phone, not even in person, that when you're on the phone with that person, as soon as you want to get off, you kind of feel like you just want to like take a nap? It's because it can zap your frequency. It's like a vampire to frequency. And I don't think they mean to. Half of them, I'm sure they're not like, who can I zap their frequency off? But there's actually cameras now, and they have these at convention where you can actually see someone's frequency or aura, whatever you want to call it, and how different people can come into that space, and you will line up with that person depending on who has the higher, who's the better the thermometer, I guess you could say. And so we have to be really intentional with who we are and remember who we are, so we can bring people up and not be taken down by someone else. And so what happens if you get low? Let's talk about that. If you drop in frequency, the thing is, you start opening yourself up to issues. And I cannot list or name all of the other issues, but let's just say that you may need some help. And so it's really important to maintain the body's immune system by keeping a high frequency as much as possible. You can even double up on the down stuff. If you drink coffee, that'll bring you down. It's been proven and scientifically shown, if you drink coffee or even hold a coffee cup by walking into St. Arbuck's, it will drop your frequency for 20 minutes. Within 12 seconds for 3 days. 20% within 12 seconds for 3 days. And so, now there's other things that you can do to keep yourself up that would not cause you to drop. And I don't know why it's not the caffeine. Some person had said that they thought it was the way that caffeine was made or something, or maybe it's the chemicals. I choose to know myself, but I just know I've read in several places that it stays 3 days. And if you like to keep your frequency of 67 or above, then of course we'd like to do things that are going to keep it at least maintained, if not higher. Because again, there's different eases that we can fall into those traps when we start getting too low. And it's not like we're catching anything. It's more like we're responsible for our own health, and we've opened ourselves up to anything that could be an issue just because we're not taking control of high frequency and we're not focusing on something that's really high. Now you can double up by going to St. Arbuck's with Debbie Downer, because you could dip with the coffee and you could double dip by going with Debbie Downer. So hang around really good people and do things that are going to cause your frequency to be really high. Like peppermint is 98 frequency, lavender is 118, helichrysum is 157. There have been, awake is a really good, yes. Lots of different oils have different frequency, and there's a guy named Bruce, Taino, who's gone to be with Jesus, but he's tested a lot of this frequency stuff. And you can Google him and look up all the different tests of what has high frequency, what has low frequency, how to test, and all that stuff. So just Google him. I got a little homework for you to look up Clive Baxter and the electrical magnetic field. And if you're looking for EMFs too, you can go to swiftfire.org, where we have some really good ones that have all kinds of stuff. And then of course the oils are definitely going to help with the immune system, just with the immune response, to maintain that really good immunity response. Our whole thing is I'm going to teach mind, body, and spirit. And so let's look at all the ways that we can actually do that by supporting ourselves with positive things, great supplements, rest, getting some rest, sleeping when you need to. And you know what? Animal therapy. As I'm sitting here trying to like get my cat to not jump on me, my other cat that I have. Did you know that cats and animals actually have frequency too? Kind of cool. Have you ever been in a situation where you were kind of maybe feeling down in the dumps, or maybe you just got off the phone with Debbie Downer, and then the cat comes over and sits on your chest and just starts purring? It's like they know, like, I'm coming over there to get you. And cats have 157 megahertz. Did you know that? 157 megahertz. And so that's really cool, because that can, what? Bring you up? Yes, it can. Horses have a really high frequency. I choose to remember what their frequency is, but I can tell you what their radius is. Their radius is way further than any of us. They're 350 feet. So I don't know if you've ever had a horse, but they are amazing creatures. They're very mystical. They're just beautiful, majestic creatures. And from far away, even if you're going to see your horse, they will know you're coming way before. And that's a good point. Let me remind myself about that. Baxter Drive. I gotta write that down. Dolphins actually have an even bigger radius and a really, really high frequency. And you can Google dolphins for health and frequency, and you can see all the studies and research that people have been doing with, yes, whole tones increase frequency, yes. Dolphins, I choose to remember their radius, but people are being put into pools of dolphins, and they're seeing really good effects. Now, dolphins are not as accessible, I guess you would say, because most of them are in the ocean, like far away, but they're definitely very helpful. So anyway, pet therapy is a real deal, and I don't know if there's any money in it, but speaking of pets, my cats, this is Rayma, my kitty, and she's probably coming over to purr on me right now because I'm talking to a crowd of like 185,000 people in this group. That's about the highest. Yes, it'd be kind of hard to keep a dolphin in the house, at least so far. So I hope this helps you guys. Choose to remember if there's anything else. Let's keep our frequency very, very high. Do you guys have any questions? Let's see. Let me look on here. Wow. I don't know if Jim Bob is here. Let's see. Looks like there's like 64 people trying to get on right now. Oh, I was going to talk to you too. Let me remind you about this one point. Baxter, going back to Baxter. Oh, there's 45 people who don't want to join now. Like, just that fast? Approve. Baxter, one of the things that he did too, this is kind of cool. he had all his plants, I think that was 40 miles away. This is important for you with the oils too. He had all of his plants like 40 miles away from his home, and he would get up in the morning and do whatever he was going to do, and while he was driving, he would say with his mouth, "Hey plants, I'm about to see you. I'm really excited to be able to see you here in a few minutes." And then he would look at his watch to see exactly what time it was, and he would record, "Hey, this is the time that I spoke those words to my plants." And when he got to his office, he would check the data on all of them that were hooked up to the lie detector, and all of them showed happiness at the moment that he spoke that he was coming. And he was like 20, 40 miles away. So again, going back to the power of your voice, your intent, your frequency. You know, I'd love to know what the radius is on plants. I'd love to know, there must be like a network here. I wonder, I got like a visual of like, does this person send the message from that plant to that plant to that tree and all the way down the whole highway to get the message through, or does it just go through the air? Or what? Again, going back to quantum, my goodness, talk about quantum physics here. The plants knew 20, 40 miles away that the guy was on the way and spoke it. So there's no time and space in this whole quantum realm, and there's no time and space even with these oils. I think about the scriptures on how Peter was known to be able to help people with their immune system just by his shadow. I don't know if you heard a little bit about that. You can Google that. There's something in his field that caused people to be able to have a better immune response. And so I think it's interesting, like if Peter and the disciples were sent 2 by 2, it said they couldn't bring a cloak, they couldn't bring a purse, but then later, a couple scriptures later, it says that they brought a higher measurement of immune response to all the people that they talked to with essential oils. So apparently they had essential oils. Either they were bringing that or allowed to bring that, or everybody had it in their house. I choose to know. So it might have just been completely accessible. But if of course he was with God, Peter, and all the disciples who were with God, I'm sure their frequency had to be, they had to cover his face. I think this is okay. I hope you can still hear me. It looks like it might be coming out, jumping around. So think about, the more we spend time with God, the more we're intimate with God, and we're using other things with high frequency, what kind of effect that we can have on other people from our radius. Because we can be walking diffusers, and I'm not just talking about because of the smell, although people associate smell with diffusers. Think about it just on an electrical level, how we can touch people with love and hope and security and just bless them with something positive, and they may not even know that they're being blessed. They may just know they feel better, or they think they feel better, or they something has lifted them into a higher frequency, but they may not associate it with you or necessarily know that it's you. So anyway, I do hope this helps. I choose to know if you guys have any questions, or if Jim Bob has any questions. It looks like there's still people choosing to join this group. Go to my Facebook page and join our group. It's called Divine Science, Healing, Grace, and the Human Body. And if you just go to Sharnael Wolverton, you could see that group and join that group. There's a ton of more videos there. Again, I'm going to be sending out some free stuff to you guys, but for those of you who are interested in other things, you can go to swiftfire.org, because I have a great blog, Swiftfire, Swift as in running, fire, .org, O-R-G. I have a ton of videos on YouTube. I have MP3s in my bookstore. I really do hope this was helpful. You guys, of course, I'm on Twitter and Instagram and all those things. And I love Jim Bob and Cynthia. I'm looking forward to doing more things with them and having them come in our group to do some more teachings. And I bless you, and I guess that's going to be it. I will be sending out some treats to you guys talk to you soon, and have a wonderful weekend, okay? Keep shining, keep blessing people, keep loving people, keep being love, keep doing all the things and making some great choices to do some high frequency things and get your home in high frequency. Imagine if you did your whole home in high frequency, then everyone will come over and be blasted with high frequency and feel good about themselves, all right? Love you. Bye.